New Jersey Congressman Josh Gottheimer. He is the co-chair of the bipartisan Problem Solvers Caucus. And Congressman Gottheimer, I don't even know where to begin. Tell us where things stand, your best understanding right now.
Hi, Becky. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. It's obviously a big week in Washington. Tomorrow, we start with a vote on the bipartisan infrastructure bill. That's roads, bridges, rails, the Gateway Tunnel between New York and New Jersey, water infrastructure, resources to fight climate change with climate resiliency, to deal with tragedies like the impact Hurricane Ida had on areas like mine that I represent. And I'll tell you, Becky, this will be an historic trillion-dollar physical infrastructure package with bipartisan support. It came out of the Senate in the beginning of August with 69 senators backing it, including all 50 Democrats and 19 Republicans. Everyone from Joe Manchin to Bernie Sanders to Mitch McConnell backed it, and now we're gonna vote on that this week. And of course, we're also still working on a reconciliation package. That's more of the social infrastructure side that continues to be negotiated, making very good progress there. But first and foremost, the other bill, and these are two separate bills, the other bill will be the physical infrastructure bill coming to the floor this week.
But that's the big question. Will your caucus actually go along with it? There are almost 90 members of the progressive group in Congress who have said they won't back it unless you can get the $3.5 trillion deal agreed on first. That sounds like it's incredibly difficult because of Senators Manchin and Sinema not wanting to sign off at this point. So what happens? Is the bipartisan infrastructure bill going to pass?
Well, I believe it will. Speaker Pelosi doesn't do things lightly when she's whipping votes. She gets it done. And as you know, that she's come out and she's said she's going to help get the votes. So, and the other really important thing here is that I really don't believe when you've got 2 million jobs a year on the line, hardworking men and women of labor, that any small faction Democrats is going to kill a key part of the president's agenda. So we'll come together, we'll unite. We've still got work to do before tomorrow, but it'll get done. And when everyone gets to the floor, we're going to pass this. And we're going to have Democrats and Republicans behind it. And I really, really believe, and these things, as you know, are always a little hectic before the end. I believe we're going to get this across the finish line because we have to. There's so much on the line when you have a once-in-a-century physical infrastructure package waiting there, sitting there since August, and a key part of the president's agenda. I just don't see any Democrat voting no for something so important for the country.
It would be kind of shocking to see a key part of the president's agenda voted down by his own party. But what has to give? We know this has been a negotiation. We know there are things that they want. If they can't get the $3.5 trillion deal right now, what would be enough, you think, to get that pushed over the finish line?
Well, they're two separate bills, and I think it's, frankly, outrageous to hold one bill hostage for another. And that doesn't make any sense to me. They both should be considered
but you
on
think
their
they're just
merits.
suddenly going to become...
And on that second bill, there's still a lot of, there was meetings at the White House up until late last night. There are more meetings today. The president will be involved all day. I believe we will get there. And there's a lot of negotiation going on to give enough certainty about the road forward on the reconciliation package. And I'm optimistic that'll happen. But in the meantime, the idea that tomorrow we would not vote on this bipartisan package that we've been sitting on here since early August with bipartisan support and critical to not just jobs, millions of jobs of hardworking men and women, 2 million a year, and of course, key to our fight against climate change and investment in roads, bridges, and tunnels. It just doesn't make any sense to me that we'd hold that up. So it'll get done. But I understand that we need to just keep working on reconciliation. It's something that ultimately I believe we'll all get behind. And so that's the key.
Nancy Pelosi had said she promised you and others in your group that they would bring that vote by Monday. I understand her reasoning to not want to do it before Thursday because that's what she thought it would take to get the votes. If something happens that the vote doesn't come tomorrow or this week, then what?
Well, actually, not only did Speaker Pelosi commit to that publicly in August, but every single Democrat in the caucus voted on the House floor to bring the bill to the floor this week. We started debating it on Monday, as committed to, and still working on that, and we'll vote this week. I just believe we've got to get this done, and so it's going to take working around the clock until it happens. I was on the phone until late last night, back on it early this morning. Everyone's at the table getting this done, talking to my colleagues on both sides to make sure we get there. And Becky, we will because we have to, and the country wants us to. This is incredibly popular.